Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to break down an absolute giant in the world of self-development, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And this isn't about manipulation or mind games. It's about the real art of human connection, about genuinely understanding how we all tick.
So, get this. This book first came out way back in 1936. I mean, think about that for a second. That's before we even had ballpoint pens.
And that makes you wonder, right? In our world of social media, DMs, and constant digital noise, why on earth are we still talking about a book that's almost 100 years old? Why does it still matter?
Well, the answer is actually pretty simple, and it's the foundation for this entire book. It's because, when you get right down to it, we haven't really changed one bit.
At our core, we all still want the same things. We want people to like us. We want to be respected. We have this deep, driving need to feel important, to feel like we matter. And maybe, most of all, we just want to feel understood. Carnegie's principles tap directly into those timeless human drives.
So let's jump into the first big principle, and it's a tough one. It's all about why criticism is, well, why it's basically guaranteed to fail. This can be a hard truth to accept, but it's absolutely crucial. To prove his point, Carnegie pulls out a wild example. Al Capone. Seriously. Even one of the most notorious gangsters in history didn't see himself as the bad guy. Nope. In his own mind, he was a public benefactor just trying to help people out. And that just perfectly shows the problem, doesn't it? Almost everyone, deep down, believes their actions are justified. So when you criticize them, you're not offering helpful feedback. You're launching a personal attack on their identity. It forces them to get defensive, builds resentment, and it just never, ever works.
So if criticism is off the table, what are you supposed to do? Well, the alternative is something way more powerful. Honest and genuine appreciation. And let's be super clear here. This is not about fake praise or empty flattery. Carnegie is very specific about this. We're talking about sincere, heartfelt recognition of someone's actual value and effort. And trust me, people are absolutely starved for this kind of thing.
When you give someone that feeling of being truly seen and valued, it's like a magic key. You unlock their motivation, you earn their loyalty, you build up this incredible bank of goodwill. The famous industrialist Charles Schwab actually credited his entire massive success to his ability to encourage and praise people instead of finding fault.
This flows perfectly into our next big idea. It's kind of paradoxical, but if you want people to find you interesting, you have to be interested in them.
Most of us get this totally backwards. We try to impress people by talking all about ourselves, our achievements, our great ideas. But the reality is, everyone's favorite subject is themselves. So the quickest way to forge a real connection isn't talking at all. It's listening. It's asking good questions. It's showing genuine curiosity.
And this reveals such a crucial truth. A lot of the time, people don't actually want your advice. They don't need you to fix their problems. They just want to feel heard. Abraham Lincoln famously talked for hours with a friend about his problems. The friend barely said a word, but Lincoln was so grateful afterward just for being listened to. All right, now this next one, this is a tough pill to swallow for many of us. The absolute best way to win an argument is to just avoid it completely.
Here's the paradox Carnegie lays out for us. You can win an argument with all the facts and logic in the world, and you still lose. How? Because even though you proved your point, you've bruised the other person's ego, and you've hurt the relationship. You've lost their goodwill, which makes it nearly impossible for them to agree with you later.
So what's the better way? Humility. Using simple, disarming phrases like these totally changes the tone. They signal that you're looking for cooperation, not a conflict. It turns a potential battle into an actual conversation.
So if you're not criticizing and you're not arguing, how do you actually influence anybody? Well, the secret is that you're not being passive. You're learning to guide their thinking instead of pushing your own.
Carnegie was a big fan of a method used by Socrates himself. You start by finding common ground. Then you ask a series of questions you know the other person will say yes to. You build up this chain of yeses, this affirmative momentum. By the time you get to your actual point, they're way more open to it. And often, they'll feel like it was their idea in the first place.
And underneath all of this is the incredible power of empathy. You know, sometimes this one simple sentence is the most persuasive thing you can say. There's a story about a salesman who needed to shut down a hotel elevator for maintenance. Instead of just demanding it, he started by saying he understood the manager's concern for the guests. By starting there, he got what he wanted without a...
Another powerful tool for guiding people is to appeal to their better nature.
People have a funny way of living up to the reputations you give them. If you treat someone as if they're capable and trustworthy, they will work hard to prove you right. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And finally, one more way to tap into that better self is to just create a challenge. People are driven by pride. We love a good game. Creating a little friendly competition or a way to measure success can spark motivation way more effectively than just giving orders.
So when you put this all together, you see what real influence actually is. It has nothing to do with power or authority. It's not about control. It's all about having a deep, respectful understanding of human nature.
It all comes back to this. If you can address these fundamental human needs in your interactions, if you can make people feel important, show them respect, and genuinely hear them out, they will naturally want to be on your side.
That's the real secret to winning friends and influencing people. So the only question left to ask is, who in your life are you going to choose to truly understand today?